dark secret behind the Warzone Casual Mode. So today we're diving deep to discover all we can and get to the bottom of things. Welcome into Warzone Solos Casual. Today we have a ton of questions we're going to be answering from top to bottom. Those questions are as follows. First, can you fight bots in the Gulag? Can they have clan tags, have loadouts, use kill streaks, be any level, mirror your playstyle, kill you, be spectated, or even win the game? Can bots win the game? We have two other overarching questions that I kind of want to talk about at the end of the video, which is one, is Call of Duty dynamically changing the number of bots per match? And two, overall, how can you, the person watching this video, be able to see if a player is a bot or if it's a real person? So we're going to be running through each one of these, and off rip, I've got quite a few things that I need to answer. You know, a whole list of things. But first, I want to hit basically the names of these bots, because if you don't know, the names of the bots are actually set in a very specific way. So I'm going to go through, and as we play this, I'm going to try and pull up a bit of information so that you can kind of understand what's going on, because I have a whole crap load of information to share with you. So immediately, let's go ahead and grab some cash, because we're going to need quite a bit of cash for what we're going to be doing this game. Now, I've gone through and I've played multiple games and learned a whole ton about this. I've also went through and checked back through my footage to double check and make sure I was correct, so that you don't have to do the research yourself. Not that you probably would, but so that you don't have to. So immediately, let's kind of talk about these bot names, because they are pretty interesting. So until the end of the month, we're going to be running a 25% off sale for all of my custom designed tees over on Expel.gg using code COOKIES. We've got stock in pretty much every size you can think. And to be clear, this isn't some trash that you get on one of those build your own shirt sites. We did a ton of testing on different shirts, paint styles, and we're even packaging every single one by these hands right here. You can also add a signature if you like, or even stickers, which I tend to put on my Yeti. Either way, the sale's not going to last forever, but the shirts probably will. And hey, if you're looking for another reason to buy, this will directly go to support mine and Brooke's honeymoon, so, you know, go grab a shirt. Thanks. The first thing I'll say is that there's kind of 10 qualifiers for these names. The first of which is sometimes it's just a seemingly random series of characters, whether that be, you know, lowercase letters, capital letters, especially very weird capital letters. And then sometimes they'll throw in some numbers. Second up, they'll use old school gamer tag type vibes. They'll use things like X's on the outside of the names. You'll see multiple underscores throughout the word, or throughout the names. You'll see leet speak names. If you don't know what that is, it's things like using numbers in the name to represent letters. So if you're gonna say the word ever, then you would put a 3 instead of an E. Often they'll use things like demon, but they'll spell it out as Damon, D-A-E-M-O-N. And then the other thing is they'll often repeat characters like TTT or XX or something like that. Now, what I have noticed, and I don't have a clear explanation for this, but what I have noticed is that sometimes they'll use a very specific series of characters within the name. So the first of which is QVQ, often capitalizing both the Qs. They'll use QAQ. They often use ever with a capital E on the first one and on the second E. They will literally do UWU, UWU, top, and XD, FPS. They'll also use the word small, but spell it smole. So S-M-O-L, pancake, banana, tiger with a 3 for the E, and waffle with 2 capital Fs. So if you see those in a name, most common, those will not be real players. Those will be bots. Another thing I've noticed is that they often use specific years. Things like 1986, 2007. Things like that are very common with these bot names. So we've got a bot, it seems like right here, and they disappeared. Actually, you know what I'd like to show you? is how bots actually work. So we're gonna get quite a bit of cash here.
Moving here.
Because bots are pretty interesting. And this is one of the things that goes to show why it can really mess up the flow of solos. So let's work on getting this. And OXO is another one of them. Ironically, this guy, OXO, is another one of those. So we're gonna need to get a little bit of cash because I do want to show you specifically how these bots work, because they despawn, respawn, they basically move around the map in a very specific way, but it is to a player that is actively playing the game the way it's meant to be played, it breaks the gameplay loop. So it kind of messes with the way that things work, and it makes it very difficult for a player to truly get better at the game. And I do think that that's kind of the focus of it. I think they don't want people to get better. They just want to hop in and have a sandbox where people shoot each other, which is absolutely fine. That's not a problem. But back to the names, there are 6 more things that we can hit here. First of all, they will often use, an adjective followed by a noun. So like hasty beaver or something like that. They'll use an object followed by a name. Something like banana Jason. So like a noun followed by a proper noun, I guess. They'll use an object followed by an object. So dog piano. And one thing that is for certain is that bots cannot have clan tags. I have done extensive testing on this, and in all the matches I have played, not a single bot I've fought had a clan tag, not one. Amongst hundreds of eliminations at this rate, not one bot had a clan tag. This is a real player, by the way, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not, but yep, real player. See, that guy had a clan tag. Now a bot, what they would have done is they would have pulled their parachute on repeat. It's a weird thing that you see in the game, is that bots act very, very weird. But let me grab this vehicle right here so that we can get the rest of that cash, because I want to show you how bots are dispersed around the map. Oh, and by the way, there's one last thing that they'll do for the names, and that is they will often use a Call of Duty reference within the name. So something like putting in 141, as in like the good guys, Task Force 141. They do that a lot with these names. So basically, I'm not saying that someone having any one of these in their name means they're guaranteed a bot. That is not really what I'm trying to get at. Oh, also, funny enough, this is a bot right here, right? And look at how they shoot around me. They also have something per difficulty of the bot, and they can kill you for the record, but bots actually have skill-based damage. Now, it's very interesting that they do have skill-based damage, because that was a big deal for a very long time, that Call of Duty kept saying, we don't dynamically change damage, but they do it for bots. So there's 5 levels of bots in the game, 1 to 5, and they get increasingly more difficult as their level increases as well. And then they can change the amount of damage that their weapons do based on the difficulty of the bot as well. Now, they don't change the damage that the bots do based on how good you are. That is not a thing that happens. But they will do it based on the level of the bot. So one thing I wanted to show you real quick was the way that they disperse bots throughout the map. So we're gonna pop 3 UAVs, and since I have bird's eye, it's gonna show every single player on the map. So let's go ahead and look, and what you'll notice is that in this one, you just saw this bot right here move. We're gonna stay on this for a second, and what I want you to see is basically how bots will disappear and reappear in a different area. This is not something that happens in a regular match. What's going on is that a bot somewhere in the map got too far away from a player, and they're starting to disappear and reappear near a player. What this can cause is that you could be in the middle of a gunfight with a real player, and then the bot will just randomly appear behind you and throw you off, leading you to dying by the real player. Yes, of course, in a solos match, that is something that can happen. A real player will just fly in from the Gulag on you or something like that, but it's very rare to see something like that. But what's weird about this is just watching them literally despawn just to respawn and watch. Yeah, super weird. And again, year 1989 in the clan tag. But just looking this over and watching them despawn and respawn, it really throws things off, because often what'll happen is you'll pop a UAV, you'll try and go toward a player so that you can get that elimination, and then the player's gone because they despawn and they went to another player. Now, I've noticed that if you're staring right at a bot, similar to how they've done things in the past with like spawns in multiplayer, the bot cannot and will not despawn. There's a real player over here, by the way, because they did a ton of damage. Yeah, and you can see his clan tag is AI, which means immediately if you see a clan tag, that they aren't a bot, because bots cannot have clan tags. It simply works that way. There's nothing else to it. You see how this guy on the right's barely damaging me? Also a bot. And they're super slow. So these are, you know, you're going to be able to see the lower levels of the bots. Now, the interesting thing is the weapon he's using is an XMG. The XMG does a ton more damage than what it just did right there to me. So one bullet from the XMG is enough to triple what we just saw damage-wise. So let's go ahead and pop a UAV. Let's go find a player. I kind of want to do this. Now, actually, we know that that is a vehicle. So another thing is that bots cannot drive vehicles. That is not a thing that they can do. Okay? And you might be asking, Expel, how did you know that that was a vehicle? Where? Well, the guy was moving quickly, but it also said that he was ghosting. If you notice, I don't think it's going to show it. Yep, he turns into a dot from an arrow. So whenever you have bird's eye, anybody in a vehicle appears to be ghosted, which is a very weird thing that happens. But let's go ahead and move over here. And again, we do still have a ton of things to answer. One that I find super interesting, actually, is whether or not they can use kill streaks. And it's actually kind of funny the way that it works. So they won't try and hit you through a wall, but they will open door. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in. Oh my God, is this a real player? I think this may actually be a real dude. Maybe that's a level 5 bot. Hold on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop that right there. Let's see if it is a bot. Because what's going to happen is it'll come out and it'll pick it up. Maybe? Maybe not. Interesting. Now I've seen a bot pick up something, and I wonder if I just need to be looking away from it. But I know that it's possible for them to pick up and use kill streaks because I've seen it happen. I wonder if I can't drop it, but it has to be a naturally spawning kill streak, because I've had a bot pop a kill streak on me multiple times. So clearly right there, you know that a bot can kill you because it got me down to 1 HP, and if I didn't move, it would have knocked me. My question is actually whether or not it'll thirst me if I have a selfie here. One that's actually pretty interesting is whether or not they can have, real player? Are you a real boy? Yeah, you're a real boy.
Hey, shoot him! Shoot!
Now, what do we want to go to? Can bots be any level?
What's up, bro?
Hey, much love, big man.
Oh, okay. Oh man.
Can bots be any level? So there's currently a glitch going on in the game, and they've let it happen for the longest time, and I think it's because they don't want us to have this information, because there's no way that you just don't fix it and you don't make it a priority or even mention it in certain aspects. So Call of Duty has a weird bug where players will show up. The longer that you're online, the more that it happens, by the way. Players will show up with mismatched levels. So it'll show that someone is level 1. Let's see if he picks it up. He picked it up. You see that? So my curiosity is whether or not he'll PA me. Why's he not trying to fight? So weird. No, don't. Stop it. So there's Pancake in the name, by the way, so you know that that's a bot. He picked up that kill streak, and then he's just not using it. I don't know why. But like if I go back over here, I'm pretty sure it's not on the ground anymore. Yeah. Oh, it's still there. Oh, interesting. He didn't pick it up. How weird. I think you have to pop it out of the buy. So what I'll probably do is go find a buy, get a bot to push me, and maybe I can show that to y'all. Oh, actually, while we're here, I do want to showcase every bot that we eliminate will not have perks. I don't know who started this theory that people with perks, or that after third circle, bots could carry perks, but that's not a thing at all. That's not a thing. It doesn't work that way. It never has worked that way. Bots cannot have real weapons, like loadout weapons, and they can't have perks. It's just not a thing. It doesn't work that way. They come in with a specific set of weapons every single time, or they even just like pick them up off the ground. But they do not, in any circumstance, pick up loadout weapons. Also, bots often will slide backwards, which I find super interesting. Two guys landing. Same time. Weird. So again, bot, no perks. Guy up top, clearly a real guy because he had a clan tag. So you know that that was a real guy, but the guy below was clearly a bot because he didn't have any perks. He didn't have anything. And being in the fourth circle, you can pretty much expect everyone to have their stuff. Well, not everybody, but most everybody to have their stuff. So let's keep moving in. We've still got more to answer. Again, I was trying to talk about this earlier. Can bots be any level? No. So the quick answer to this, and we are going to spectate a game and spectate some bots. So don't worry, that's going to happen. But the quick answer to this is that they can only be up to level 55. They can max out to level 55, but you will never see a bot at level 56. Unlike a real player, they cannot prestige, which means they don't earn experience, which means they cannot hit level 56, which is meaning, oh, you can prestige at any moment. Like if I eliminate an enemy, often it'll show that I'm level 56 to that enemy because I can prestige at pretty much any given moment. But because they're not real, Call of Duty has manually put the level and they're just stuck at level 55. You'll often see them at level 4, level 12, level 15, level 20, level 40. A lot of the times they're usually a specific level.
Requesting recon at my location. Requesting recon flyover.
Like a 40 is very common, 4 is very common, 16, 17 is very common. Level 6, stuff below 10 is very, very common. That's what you'll see pretty much all the time. And again, no loadout. We're not seeing a loadout. It is not a thing. Do not let anyone tell you that bots can have loadout. You did not kill a bot. That was a real player. Do we see the 3 dudes right here? Yep, X_Blaze. So interesting. So what you'll start seeing in the 5th circle is that the bots are going to start disappearing. So what I really want to do is kind of work my way over and watch one bot. So I'm trying to do that. These are probably all real players over here. So what I want to do is kind of get to the edge and get these bots to chase me because I have a plate box in my back pocket. Realistically, it's not possible. That's definitely a bot. I'm trying to get up there. It's unfortunate. All these guys are bots. I want to look right at these guys because again, bots cannot despawn while you're looking at them. And it despawned right in front of me. It literally despawned right in front of me the second I got it out of my line of sight. Meaning every single player left in this match is a real player. So the only thing you can do is always look at a bot. And I've tried this. It is very difficult. I need another player to hop into solos with me to make this happen. But I really want to make a video showcasing that bots can win the match, because I think what could happen is if I knock myself and then the person watching the bot backs out, I could get the footage showcasing that bots will in fact win a match. And I think it's possible. I actually got pretty close. What I had happen was there's a glitch spot on top of Stadium where you actually can, I don't know how to put this. You can kind of get aim assist through a wall, and the bot sees that as a wall that it can shoot through. So because of that, if you stand on the other side, it can't shoot you. You get aim assist on it, so you know that it's there, and it won't despawn. But I actually had it blow itself up while trying to nade me, which was super unfortunate. Also, if I get to the point to where I can, I'm just gonna give away the win. I don't know what that guy's doing, but we're just gonna get this elimination in just a second. Let me just get inside. Can bots be your teammates, by the way, is a question a lot of people have. No, bots cannot be your teammates. That is just a factual answer right there. In the next game, we're going to answer fight a bot in the Gulag, and do they dynamically change is coming up. And I'll show you that in between games, because that one I thought was true for the longest time. And I've gotten quite a bit of information on it. And I don't know if you're going to believe the results of that one, to be honest. I know that I was kind of in shock. Why can't we be friends?
Requesting recon flyover.
Standing by.
So we got a guy over here. I am going to give away the win to the final dude, but I'm going to kill this guy real quick.
Target area marked. You're cleared hot.
Gas is closing in. Get to the new safe zone.
Moving here. Switching back.
Let's kill this guy.
Forget that.
He's like right behind that wall over there from where the UAV was, I'm pretty sure.
Enemy airstrike in the area.
Oh, he's a demon.
Got gas moving in.
The guy over on the left is kind of cracking me up. Good kill. Hey, bro, congrats on the win, man. Good kill, bro.
Come back to boss. Cover me. You got a moment. Take cover.
Gas moving in. New safe zone located. Gas moving.
Are you gonna come and get me? I'm inside. Come and get me, Papa.
Got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated.
Whoop. Whoop.
Gas inbound.
I'm getting stage.
Ah! Woohoo! I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna give him a win, but at that rate, dude, he was grabbing a gas mask. We can't let that happen, bro. Look at this. Okay, so now the next game, we're definitely gonna give the win up because we're gonna spectate. Now, while we're sitting in the pregame lobby, what I wanted to show you is basically the number of players that are in a match. So we're gonna start with the 5 right here. Now, in quads, you're guaranteed to have basically 28 real players. So let's see in solos, knowing that there's going to be 150 players total, how many we have. So it goes in alphabetical order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Before it moves on to the next game, which is reset alphabetically. So 26 in the last. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Next game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So on repeat, you're getting about the same number of players. And what that tells you is that no, they are not dynamically changing the number of bots per match. If anything, when it hits 150, they're adding in more bots than there were in quads, because quads is pretty much guaranteed to be a set number of bots. But in solos, they just fill the rest of the lobby to get the number of players in the match up to 150. So that's what's going on there. So moving into our second match, what I want to go ahead and explain is basically how this match is going to work out. So the first thing we're going to answer is whether or not we can fight bots in the Gulag. So what I'm going to do is immediately jump out of the plane, go straight in, splat the ground, and we're going to head right into Gulag. Immediately after that, we are going to go and work our way around the map just a little bit until about the 3rd circle. And you might be asking, Expel, why do you care what circle it is if you're just going to spectate? Well, because if I spectate earlier on, what's going to happen is the bot that we're watching is going to despawn. If you go watch my other video in quads, you can see that the bots despawn and respawn, and they will just disappear all of a sudden. They don't necessarily leave the game, but they do despawn. And from what I can tell in quads, they also just switch teams. So this right here, dead bullet, you know, we've got a descriptor, so we've got an adjective, and then we've got a noun, which means that this is a bot. Clearly, if it was a real player, they'd be hitting their shots. From what I can tell, this is a very low level bot, and we're just gonna slam it. That's it. Easy peasy. So to answer your question, yes, you can and most likely will be fighting a bot in the Gulag, because at any given moment, there's only up to 28 real players in a match. I have, in fact, never seen over 28 players in a match. It's always maxed out with bots. It is more, they are technically changing the number of bots per match, but it's not in the way that I had before thought. And I have a theory for why this is, okay? So one, I do want to say we are going to a bounty that is a bot, which is fine. But my thought on what's going on with the player count and the bot count dynamically changing is that they actually have it set up where if, you know, they have, say, 21 real players in the lobby, what they'll end up doing is just filling the rest of the lobby with bots, which is not something they do in quads. But it usually comes down to whether or not a player has left in the pregame, because then they're not filling up the rest of the lobby. So what they'll do is they'll just dynamically fill it with a bot. I often feel like I'm fighting more real players. And while I understand that, you know, lobbies are different every game, what I think's going on is that the skill level per match actually changes. So the up to 28 players that are real can be better or they can be worse. So in some matches, I'll be fighting against players that are pretty good. So they'll end up going to similar places that I'll be going. So when I go to those places, they'll be a little bit hotter than what it would be in another match. So when I run into like-minded players, they end up in like-minded or in similar places, right? Does that make sense? But if I'm running into a lobby with lower skilled players, they'll mimic more what the bots will do. So they'll spread out more. They'll go to weirder places around the map. And that's just not something that I'm used to when I'm playing in a regular solos match. So 120 bots is not the maximum. A few more than 120 is the maximum.
Enemy soldier incoming.
There's a guy in here, by the way. Oh, that's crazy. That's actually wild that my nade goes right through it there. Is that even the same guy? I'm getting really confused here. Just as a check. Look at that guy's body drop. It's a real player? It was. Interesting. Bots also drop shot pretty much all the time these days. But it is a bot, just to be clear. That was not a bot. That was a real boy. Okay, so we're on second circle right now. That was such a weird fight to be in. I do want to get $18,000, so we're going to just hit all the bodies down here that I eliminated because they have their scavenger packs on them, which I think is great. But I will let y'all know, clearly I was wrong. You know, I figured out the explanation for it. It makes sense, but it is weird that it felt that way, to say the least. Bots also tend to not plate up, which I find is also a little crazy. I don't know why it's like that, but they just will not plate sometimes. I really wish that I could show you that bots use kill streaks, because I've ran into it quite a few times where they've just picked up a kill streak off of the buy station. You know? Would have been cool to be able to showcase that. But hopefully very soon, like a little past third circle, we're going to be able to showcase a little bit of spectating of a bot. But I'm just trying to eliminate the number of real players left. But again, at fifth circle, they will just disappear.
Changing max.
Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends?
Hey, don't kill me, please, please, please.
Hold on. I gotta drop off of something to let go of you. It won't do it, bro.
Don't kill me.
I don't know what to do for you.
I won't kill.
There's nothing I can do, bro. It won't let me drop you. You know that, right? Hold on. I got an idea. Can I jump over the window? Can I jump the window? Let me. Here we go. Whoa! You got it! Woo! How about that? Huh? Yeah. I could if I wanted to. You just keep that in mind. All right. That was awesome. I just saved that man's life. What a remarkable experience. Nice guy. See, that's to make up for the end of the last game, all right? For the record, I was going to let that guy live. I hope y'all know that. I was going to let him live. I just thought that he would have a self-revive at the end of the game. And the fact that he didn't focus on getting a self-revive feels goofy as all hell to me, to be quite honest. So you may notice we're actually in a different game, and you can see that by the circle. Now, you might be asking yourself, Expel, why? What happened? Well, I decided to change up what happened at the end of that last game, so we're going to do the spectating now, and then I'm going to show you what happened at the end of the last game. It's actually pretty interesting. This is a real player, isn't it? Are you real? Yeah, you're real. I'm so sorry, buddy. I'm so sorry. You have what I need.
I was real.
Yeah, I'm sorry, pal.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. There's
Hey.
some more,
Say hello to
UAVs and
Steve.
stuff.
Say hey, Steve. So anyway, we gotta go find a bot. I used all my cash and he popped the freaking UAVs, dude. That's so frustrating.
Recon flyover.
So what I want to do is find a bot. So we got a guy up there. We got a guy right here. I want to know if that's a real guy, first of all. So let's grab HDR. Let's grab this gun right here. That is a real player. Is this a real player? That is not a real player.
Play counter round.
Okay. Take me down, Poppy. I want to get assassinated, bro. All right.
Valiant air.
Miss Shadow Bill. How is this a... This is the third game in a row. Can bots be prestiged? Hold on, wait. Y'all, I've wasted an hour trying to do this, for the record. Oh my god. I think bots can be prestiged. Okay, hold on, because I think I got something wrong.
Gas is closing in. Get to the new safe zone.
This is news to me. So they changed it where bots can be prestiged. Oh. Because I can't report this player. This had to have been recent. Oh my god. Wait. Okay, so to be clear, I'll show you the footage from the last game that I just did this and I lost my mind. They just keep twisting in circles. So I'm going to assume that these are bots. Yeah, okay, so bot. Then we're going to die to this one. Okay, so this is our bot right here. This is the one that we're going to die to. All right. So bot's going to kill me. We died to banana. Yeah. So I thought bots couldn't be prestige because this is the first time I've ever seen this. Ever. But now I'm starting to think that they're starting to change things drastically. Before you could tell a bot was a bot by noticing that they're not prestiged, but clearly I cannot report this player, just to be clear. There's no reporting this player, right? Like I'm clicking the button. There's no report option. And when they die to a real player, what I'm going to end up doing... What I'm going to end up doing is trying to see if I can report that player. But notice that it didn't pick up my perks. It didn't pick up my weapons. A real player would have seen the specialist. I don't care how bad you are. You would have seen that and figured it out if you looted for that long. A real player would have seen the specialist and picked it up. But this player didn't. So it's got to be a bot. Also the name, Miss Shadow Bill. Like, Warzone's adding in things that I didn't. See, I can report this player.
Reloading.
First of all, this guy is a wild man for sitting inside of this, knowing that there's 120 plus bots. But
Marking new safe zone.
I truly, I'm at a loss for words because I've never seen this. So they're changing things dynamically. So as they're just like testing different things to see how it affects. I don't like that at all. Just to be clear, I really hate that with everything in me that they do stuff like that. And now we're watching this guy just camp up inside of a building. So I will note that bot did not disappear. And usually you'll see them disappear. So if you spectate later in the game, I wonder if when they respawn, they spawn them at a different level. I mean, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe, you know, it was there, but clearly I can report Blameless Ben, you know, like it's there. But the last player I couldn't report, which means that it's not a real player. So all of a sudden we've got bots that are now prestiged. It makes you wonder how things are going to change in the future. I bet they start adding clan tags. I bet they change up the names that they do. I bet what they'll probably start doing is basing the names off of real player names. I think everything for bots is about to change. I really do, because I think they want to give the feeling of success to players, but they don't want players to know. So they don't want the telltale signs that I've mentioned in this video. And I know at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, but the whole point of this was to kind of learn. And right now, I did a ton of testing, just to be clear. And that was the first time of all the games that I played. Now I'm thinking I need to pull up this last gameplay. No, not that, not that. Oh yeah, maybe that. Hold on. Mute. Okay, so that's a real player. Sorry, I'm just checking a couple of things here. Hold on. Oh, I did die to a bot. Oh, I died to a bot, Prestige 1. Oh, y'all saw it, but I just realized it. Oh, that's crazy. So they're changing the bots to be able to be prestiged.
Losing ground, moving. You're in the
Changing
top
map.
3. Don't let up now.
Man, sorry, you totally just missed that. You just shot a guy. That's my bad. I was in shock. Don't worry about it. So was that guy. To be fair, that guy just got shocked and domed. Of course, the only other kill that you get to watch the whole game. But what an interesting way to play the match, you know? Another thing is, like, the players have numbers beside their name whenever you die to them. So if you die to a bot, they won't have numbers and you can't report them, you know? No numbers, can't report if they're a bot. Wasting your gas mask early is crazy. What's the chances this guy just dies? Like, he camped inside of that little hole the entire match just to die in the dumbest way physically possible. Now, we'll let you know, again, after this, what's going to end up happening is that I'm going to showcase to you what happened at the end of the last game. And I think it's a pretty interesting ending. But by the way, this has been an experience, you know?
Switching
Lay down. Mark your guy. Well, you know that he was up there at that rock. Yep. Look at that. Look at that. If he loses this after all that, there's no way, right? Okay. All right. GG's. GG's, Blameless Blend. All right. Let's jump into there. And let's see this real quick. Hold on. Yeah, that's who they made casuals for. Anyway, over to the other game. We chill?
I'll tell you what. You can get up.
Hell yeah, bro. I got like 27 grand. Can I give you like half of that or some shit so that I can... I just need enough for a UAV at the end.
Now listen, and you keep it. You keep that. That's yours. You're good. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go, and you can have this area of the map. All right.
Hold on, Bloodhound. Can we try something together? Actually, I'm trying to let a bot win. Is that crazy?
Is that even possible?
That's what I'm saying. So my thought is basically what you have to do. I figured it out. What you have to do is somebody has to just stare at the bot at all times because they can't die and they can't back out if you're staring at them. I'm looking at you.
That's true. Okay.
Yeah, so they can't die. So my thought is if we just stare down a bot, we might be able to pull it off.
It's possible. We gotta kill all the real people first though.
That's a real player on our right. Just killed the other real player on our right.
Bet.
Cracked him.
Where's he?
Inside the
Oh,
building.
he's in there. Gotcha. Hold on, let me try some. Oh shit.
He died. Oh shit. Are you a bot? Hey bro, are you a bot? Are you a bot? Or are you real? That's a bot. Okay. Nope. Stop it. Wait, what? Scorsy brother, no. Okay, hold on. Need you to keep staring at me, buddy. Dude, this bot's a freak. Come on, buddy. Come on. Don't do it.
Requesting recon flyover.
Come on.
Take that, please. Threats in the area.
Come on.
Gas is closing in.
Come on.
I'm getting stitched up.
Flying on fumes. UAV returning to tank.
Incoming!
Come on.
Took around.
Hey, I need y'all to let this bot win, okay? What do you say, guys?
Got gas inbound. Safe zone relocating.
Do not, under any circumstances, kill this bot. Let it win.
Stitched up.
Jesus Christ. What? Dude, is this a real guy? Don't kill the bot. Don't kill the... No! No! You killed the... Long story short, it didn't work.